Peter Harris Clothes and Label Shopper, our two storefronts, have been around since 1970. We are an off-price apparel store, and we are predominantly in small markets. The easiest way for many people to understand it is sort of a small market TJ Maxx. So we are opportunistic buyers and offer the consumer a great value. We actually went live 2 years ago in October. We started working with them actually 2 years ago, almost to the day now. So they were really very impressive in terms of taking us from a completely different system to the new Jesta system, and it was remarkably seamless. I think it was actually less than 100 days. We had an urgency because we were and still are in a fairly rapid growth mode, and the legacy registers that we were using with the old system hadn't been produced since the 1990s, and we couldn't even find them in the secondary market. So we had a real sense of urgency to be able to get onto the new system with the new POS registers, and that meant converting everything over. We have from soup to nuts. We have the financial system, we have the POS system, we have the merchandising system. So from the time the purchase order is written to the time it's received, allocated to the stores, and sold, all that information is tracked back, and it works really quite seamlessly. Our choice was we wanted a single, and we actually hired an outside consultant because we're not sophisticated IT people. We'd actually had the same system for 30 years, so had been comfortable with it. But it was time to move to the next generation. And so we hired an outside consultant, and in the end it was pretty clear that Jesta was the best option. And within that, we wanted to make sure that a single company was responsible for everything. We didn't want people pointing their fingers and saying, well, the financial system doesn't feed quite properly from the merchandising and it's their fault. No, it's his fault. So rather than have that issue, we chose to do everything with Jesta, and I think it was a very good decision. The biggest challenge we had actually was simply that we no longer had the ability to support the cash registers. And the cash registers were so obsolete that they communicated via dial-up. So it was not even internet-based. I know you're laughing, but it was real and it was painful. And we actually had virtually a full-time guy just to keep the old registers working. He was doing everything from bubble gum to Scotch tape to keep the things functioning, and it was just a system ready to implode on itself. Jesta has an incredible database. One of the joys was the system we had was written in a day when memory was limited, so that basically anything that existed after 30 days was either deleted or it just aggregated, so there's no longer any detail surrounding whatever the transaction was, whether it was a sale, whether it was an invoice, whatever it was in the old system. With the Jesta system, we can decide what happened in this store on that day, and go back and pull every little bit of information we might want to have. So our auditors are happy, our merchants are happy, everybody can trace everything back. So it's complete and absolute total information. I would recommend Jesta to other clients. First and foremost, the system works. They have delivered on everything they said they were going to deliver on. And as in anything, whether we made the problem, whether there were little bugs in the particular reports we wanted, they have been unbelievably supportive. And whether it's responding on a weekend, whether it's fixing things that might have been our fault for having messed up, they've been there. They have been terrific, and they're also nice people. But the fundamental thing is they actually get the job done.